Karen, and a few of you have asked me to do a review of the activity mat that I have talked about and shown for Watson, my Labradoodle. I think that you might have seen it in my vlog. I talked about it, or in a video I talked about that he had his activity mat, and on Snapchat I've certainly shown him, I think it was the first time he used it, and I'll put some footage in here of him using the activity mat as well so that you can see it at work. Good boy. Oh, clever boy. Just to give you a little bit of background on Watson, he's a troublesome thing. He's troublesome in that he's very, very fussy. He's fussy with food. He is not a toy person. So every other dog I know will have a toy that they love. They're either ball obsessed, or they have one toy that they love, or they like all toys, or they like ball parks, or you know, there's always something that they are quite happy to play with on their own. There is nothing that we had found that Watson will sit and play with on his own, other than like he'll chew a bone. You know, he's even gone off his pizzles, which are like bully sticks, and maybe a bone, but we don't really get him bones anymore. But we've got things like, I've got a deer trotter, and there's something else like that. Oh, a beef hide, not hide, because I don't get hide anymore, beef tendon. And there's things like that he'll chew on, but not a toy. And I'd really love to see him playing with a toy, and something that I could give him while I'm grooming that will make him feel like he's getting a treat, and be able to, what's the word I'm looking for, occupy him for some of the time I'm doing the groom. And I also want it to be something that will tire him out, and mentally tiring out a dog, if you get the right thing, actually tires them out more than physical exercise. It doesn't mean you can replace it, but for me, he already gets 3 walks a day, so another walk was not a way to tire him out, but this has worked really, really well. It's the first thing we found that he can play on his own. See, we play find it with him with treats, so we'll get little treats and hide it around, normally one room, like the living room if it's in the evening, or if it's in the day, I'll hide it in here and say, find it. As long as I'm in the room, he'll sniff around and try and find the treats. Same in the living room, but then he'll get bored and we have to say, come on, find it, and sort of be involved with him. Whereas with this activity mat, he does it 100% independently. So when I've had grooms in, it's just been so wonderful. I've put him in the kitchen behind the security gate, put the activity mat on the floor, and he goes at it. He sometimes leaves it when the more difficult ones are, he can't get to them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna now go and use my camcorder to film it in the living room, because obviously to hold the mat up like this and show you it wouldn't really work. I could take my camera through and try and position it, but the autofocus would probably mess about. So I'm going to try it on my camcorder, which means that it's probably not as good footage, it's not as good quality, but because it's quite bright, you should be able to see it okay. It shouldn't be too bad. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and tell you the price and how it works and the different components to it, etc. And yeah, that should be it. So, okay, you guys, a little bit awkward, but I finally got a camera angle that's working for me. And this is what it looks like all set up. So what I'm going to do is just unpack it all so that you can see exactly how it works. So there is the base mat, and there's everything that's clipped onto it. So when I say this is set up, I haven't actually put snacks in here, but they are all poppers, and they are all popped on. So there's this one. This I think is called an envelope, and so this one is like this. You open it out into a straight piece. Actually, there is one snack left in there. And you put the snacks in the corners, so you can put it up. Well, there's a snack in each one actually. He's obviously got bored and couldn't be bothered to do this one. And then you fold it up like that, and it's stuck with a little bit of Velcro. And then you can put it onto here. What I also do when I put it on, I make sure they're little snacks. And I put some underneath it like that, so that he's also got, it kind of gives them a clue, you know, they can smell it underneath, and then it helps them realise that when they do that, they can popper it off. And with these, some of them will need some encouragement to be able to pull that back, but once they've got it, they can easily get their nose in this. I'm not sure what level this is. I'll talk in a moment about the different levels, but there's level like 1, 2, 3 and 4 I think, or maybe just 3. So that's that one. Then the next one on here, I think this might be called a purse. So it's clipped on like this, and then it opens out into 4 wallets, 4 wallet spaces, and so that you can just put whatever you want in there, and they can again easily get their face in there once they've figured out how to undo it. Then you have got this one here. I think this is probably a level 3 maybe. It's just a wallet, but it's got this little piece of wood in it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so it's got a little piece of wood through here. So they need to figure out that they need to push this or pull it out with their teeth before they can open this. And so again, for that, to try and help them, to try and help Watson figure it out, I put a little snack in there so that he's trying to get to that, and he knows he needs to get rid of that. Once he gets rid of that, it's just another of those open purses. So that's that one. Then, oh, here's another snack. Found another treat. Then the ones that are left are, I think, a bit more complicated. Well, this one maybe not. There's one of my hairs on it that we don't want. This one here is just, it's underneath a sort of popper thing. So it's like that. So it should be easy enough for them to pull out. You can pop it like that. And it's just a piece of cloth, and then you just wrap up the treats in there. And so you can wrap it up tightly or however you want to wrap it up. And then you hold it in with that strap, and then they can find stuff in there. That's that one. And then, like I said, the ones that are left, I think, are the more advanced ones. So this one, Watson has just started to get the hang of this one, but it has to be something strong smelling in here, because what they first have to do is pull these ends off, and they're easy for them to grip. You know, it's not a problem for them to grip. But again, just to help them really want to get in, I put a little bit of a treat in there as well, not just in the envelopes inside. Or you can even put something in there so that they will feel like pulling it off. So they pull these 2 ends off, and you can start off with just putting one end on, or start off not putting any on if you want. And then it's a kind of double-sided purse. And actually, oh, there's snacks in here. You can see that this is broken. So this used to be sewn down the middle, here and here, but he's actually pulled it so hard that the stitching has come off. So it's not invincible. What's the word I was looking for? Is it invincible? You know, it can be destroyed. It's not indestructible. That's the word I was looking for. I need to put these on here, otherwise I will lose them. And we've got the last 2. I'll turn it around this way so you can see them. This one here this is just a piece of material that's got the poppers on it, and underneath is a purse. So you would put something in this purse, and then you fold it, and then you put it underneath here. So with this one, what they've got to do is pull it out. Get it in right, pull it out, and then they can get to the purse. So it should be pretty easy. When I started off this with Watson, I'd just slip it like that so that it was easy, and then you can push it further and further in and put it in any way you like. You could even put that in there so that it was more difficult for them to get out. That's what I love about this. The beauty of it is you can kind of tailor it to them. So that's one other clip on. And then the final one is this, which I think is fantastic. So I think this is called some kind of hat, a top hat or something like that. And so when you pull this off, it is just a big circle with lots of pouches in, and these are 2-sided. Let me show you one that's not broken. So you can see this one, you can put one in there and one in there, and that's actually very, very difficult for them to get their noses in. What Watson does is he goes like this, and that will only work on that side, if you see what I mean, but he tends to do it the wrong way. So he tends to leave this top hat a lot of the time. And again, I try and sort of put a little treat in the top here, just like sitting like that, to try and encourage him to pull the top off. But you put treats in there. Again, he's pulled it so hard that he's actually removed the stitching. But I have to say, I'm not too fussed about that, because I usually use boxes. You know, if you guys have seen me before or seen Watson before, I put things in empty tissue boxes. I've been collecting all empty boxes, and so you've then got the rubbish of all the empty boxes about, whereas here I've just got these, and I can actually probably put this on the sewing machine if necessary, but it still works. Even if he pulls it right the way down to there, it's still going to work. You know, it's not broken as such, it's just not exactly as intended. Anyway, this is on its own base, so you clip that on. So we'll start, that's the mat empty. And so you can clip it on in any kind of order you want. And I think that there's only 1 or maximum 2 other things that you can buy for this. I know there's 1 other, and I think there may be 2. Hopefully they'll come out with more things. because that would be good, because I don't know whether he's going to get bored with it. I would say he's used this about 7 or 8 times so far, and I think as long as you put interesting treats in it, then he won't get bored. So you start off, I'm going to clip that on the corner. Like I said, you can clip them any way you want, and then you put your treats in and then fold it up like this and put the hat on top of that one. And then this one I'm going to put here, and then tuck that underneath. Pull that out so you can get that a bit easy. Then what else is there? You have to you'd have to plan it a little bit so that it doesn't get too, so there's enough things left and they're evenly spaced, if you know what I mean. Okay, you guys, I hope that was useful seeing it put together and taken apart. I've just had a look for the best price, and I'll link it for you below in the description, but it's £38.99 for the activity mat plus 3 tasks. So you get with that the top hat and 2 other things. I think one's what they call it, the water lily. I would think it's more of an envelope, but the full one, and then the napkin where you wrap it up and put it underneath. I would suggest, if you're going to try this out with your dog, to maybe just get the one with the 3 tasks. And see how you go, rather than ordering extras. The unfortunate thing is the extras seem to be quite expensive. They're £10.72. I didn't realise they paid that much. I suppose I just added them all into my basket, and it's typical me. I'm not one to wait. Like, clearly I'm saying do as I say, not as I do, because I did just order a bunch. But I was pretty sure that Watson would love it, you know, because like I said, I already do that with boxes. Like, I would give him a box like this and put treats in it and say find it, and he would tear it apart. So I was pretty sure he would like it. So I think I've got 6 on there, haven't I? So I think I got a set with 3, and then I added on 3 more. But like I said, they're pretty expensive, because for 3 more is the same price as the mat plus 3, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's actually more expensive, so it's a shame that it's done that way, but you might just be okay with the base mat. The other thing to mention is that you do need to use, at the beginning, the first time you use it, definitely, you need to use really strong smelling treats. Unless you have got, say, I think like a spaniel that really uses their nose and loves their kibble, you might be able to put their kibble in it. But certainly for us, Watson doesn't love his kibble. He sometimes eats it, he sometimes doesn't. He has raw food in the evening and kibble during the day, and he's not, like I said, he will sometimes eat it and sometimes doesn't eat it until the evening. So it's not a treat enough to put it in there. He wouldn't work for it. It needs to be something that they will work for. So for us, I use a sausage. I've bought sausages from Pets at Home, and I will use half a sausage and just cut it in tiny, tiny bits. Now that he's used to it, I can put other treats, not his kibble, but I can put other treats that are not as strong smelling, because he understands the concept. So he knows that there will be treats in there if he opens them up, but he still is not going to work as hard as if I put sausages in them. So when I'm doing a groom, I'll make sure that there's sausage in there, or something like that. You know, you could put in things like bits of pork or bits of chicken. I suppose what's the difference between, I was going to say I wouldn't put meat in there because then you'd need to wipe it all down, but I suppose what's the difference between that and sausages? But that is the great thing about it, you can wipe it down. I've wiped it down with an antibacterial, just a hand wipe, you know. I think that's everything you'd want to know. I ordered this myself, paid for it myself. The company don't know about me. I just found this by accident when I was actually going to buy a stainless steel bowl for Watson's raised bowls, because I threw one in the bin by accident, and I didn't realise until the bin had gone. And I was actually looking for that and found this, so I'm delighted to have found it. And I am actually going to have a look and see if there are any other activity mats out there, because I think the idea is absolutely fantastic and exactly what we need. And if there's anything else out there like that, then I will be on it and I'll tell you about it. Let me know if you have tried this already, or if you do intend to buy it, and how you get on. I'd love to hear how you got on. And like I said, I'll put some footage in now of Watson having a play with the mat. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll